Hello Brick Sculptors and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris and today we have a new Lego piece video for you. Yes, this is piece 79846. If you're on Lego Online Pick-a-Brick, they call this plate rotated 45 degrees. Bricklink calls this plate modified 2x6 by 2/3 bent. Brick Owl will call this plate rotated 45 degrees. I will be honest with you, I am completely 100% brand new to this piece. In fact, the only reason I even own this piece is because of you guys. If you watch my content regularly, you will know that I've done a few videos on this guy. This is Lego piece 15706, and I have kind of a love-hate thing going on with this piece right now. And a lot of people in the comments of these videos said that the piece they really hate is this one. And I honestly had never seen this piece, and so I decided to buy some. Now, in Lego sets, most of the uses I've seen for this have been for Lego mechs, knees, elbow joints, things like that. But I'm sure there's a lot of cool applications for this, but I had to do some experimenting around before I really dove in and said, okay, I like this piece or not. I haven't come up with much, to be honest, so I'm going to rely heavily on you guys. I want to know what you use this for, what you've done with it, some cool examples, some things I might not have thought of, and let's see what we can figure out together. That's my favorite part about these videos, is learning with the community, helping you guys learn, and you guys helping me learn, so I can get a better understanding of all the Lego pieces, because they make new ones all the time. Now, my initial first thought with this piece was these two have to be best friends. They're both 45 degrees. They kind of look like opposites of each other, so of course these are going to fit together, right? Well, no. Lego wouldn't make it that easy. These don't line up in this sense. They don't stick together in this sense or here. The only connection I could find with these two, aside from simple ones like you can do this and alternate, that's kind of cool, but it does make some really weird spacing. The only connection I could find between these two that really uses the angles and makes these two work together is this connection here. If you put plates on both sides of this, this does lock in perfectly right here. Now, is this the most useful connection? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me something I don't know, but to me, I can't think of a lot of things that I would want to do that connection for, but it is one way they attach. You can also make these angles line up if you do it like this, and then this here, this side will be parallel to this, but unfortunately, the studs don't line up at all. If I take a plate and put it on here, you can see they're not even half studs off. They're really awkward, irrational number, which means you can't really build on this. So that doesn't really help. So unfortunately, these two don't play super well together. Unless you tell me something different. Maybe they do. I don't know. Now, in looking at this piece, I do like this round section. And it kind of jumped out that, you know, this is kind of a knee joint or elbow joint. It looks like it should be hinged, but it's not. But the cool thing is a 2x2 round does fit perfectly on there. So you could probably come up with some cool applications for things that rotate with this, going through this hole. You can't really connect things on this because the underside does have stud holes, but they're set to connect like this and not on the actual center. Obviously, you could play off that center hole, maybe use the 2x2 round tile with one stud in the middle there, but kind of an interesting piece altogether. Now, just like with 15706, this naturally to me says, okay, we got to make an octagon. So of course I did. I made a few different ones here. This one's just end to end. I connected it by some tiles, and I wanted to just kind of see the dimensions and see how this lines up. So if we take just some simple plate here and try to span it across, unfortunately, it is an irrational number. I tried this one here where they overlap, and unfortunately, same thing with this one. It is not a nice round number. It's just very slight gap there, but it is definitely going to be illegal if I bend that and connect it. And it's also not going to meet up the other way. So I'm kind of at a loss with this. I don't see a lot of useful technique with this. I do like kind of how solid this is on the outside. The octagon that I made out of these definitely had a lot of gaps and a lot of filling in to do. This is a pretty solid shape on the outside. There's not big gaps. You do have these rounded sections, but you could blend these in pretty nicely and make kind of a cool tower or something with this. You would need a whole lot of them, but not quite sure what to do with this at this point. I can also put this on a grid if you want to see how this would work with attaching it to a base plate. So here we see if we stick this down. On this guy, you can see these tiles should line up if they're going to stick. They obviously don't on any of the three other sides. So in a grid, this really can only be attached at one point as far as I found. Same thing with this smaller one. If I put it on here, you can see the hangover here. It just doesn't work. This side is super close, but it definitely has a lip there, and it's not going to work. One thing I did find, if you set these up at this specific position where you have one stud kitty corner in between them, I don't know if it's totally legal or if it just fits really close, but these do fit on these two corners on the 2x2 jumpers. Now I was hoping, okay, maybe we can keep this going. And I put one here, and unfortunately, it doesn't line up at all. I can move this over, it still won't line up. I've experimented with it in every which way I can, and it doesn't line up. So that's really all I've gotten to experiment with this. I haven't found a lot of good uses for it. I could see why a lot of people don't like the piece. I do think this could be a good piece. I just need to learn more about it, and that's where you guys come in. I really want to know how you've used this in other builds. I want to know the value in this piece, where it works, where it doesn't work. Let me know, because I'm sure some of you out there have a lot more experience with this one than I do. So I'm open to feedback. I try to answer as many comments as I can, even if it's just thanks for posting. Without your guys' support, this channel would be nothing. And we just hit 5,000 subs, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the feedback I get from this. I'm enjoying the support, and you guys are really what makes this channel what it is. If you have anything to add, please leave it below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future, and we will see you next time.